Let's take you live now. We don't know where this is actually, but this is Donald Trump's plane. Sounds like it's firing up too. So don't know where that is headed or where Donald Trump is at the moment. We think he is in Florida. You can hear other reporters in the background there. This is obviously huge news in the US.
All his planes?
Wall to wall. They probably are. Here is Mar-a-Lago.
Sending out decoys.
On a beautiful day in Florida,
nice.
it looks like. It looks like a nice place to be. Better than a jail cell, that's for sure. Let's go live now to Trump Advisory Board member Jason Meister. Jason, thanks so much for your time. Your reaction?
Thanks for having me. Look, I think they essentially just handed Donald Trump the keys to the White House in 2024, and they certainly gave him the nomination for the Republican candidate for president. Look, this is really, when you look at this is about the integrity of our constitutional republic. You cannot have a ruling class who uses George Soros-funded DAs to arrest and indict your political opposition. I don't care if you love Trump or you hate Trump. That is not how we run elections or how we run our justice system in the United States of America. This is a political persecution. It's an abomination, and everyone knows it.
What to now then? What does Donald Trump do from here? We've seen his statement. We read out the long statement on air. He points out all the different charges against him, the times that his political opponents have either tried to impeach him. He talks about impeachment 1 and 2. He talks about the illegal raid on Mar-a-Lago, as he calls it. There you have it. This is on our screen now. This is political persecution, election interference at the highest level in history. From the time I came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower, and even before I was sworn in as your president as the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of the hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement. I would say, Jason, I think all those things are true, but you fight fire with fire, don't you? Isn't this down to both sides doing that?
No, he's not politically persecuting the establishment in this country. They're politically persecuting him. And he's absolutely right. When you look back at the Russia collusion hoax that threw our country in a constitutional crisis that was basically a paid-for dossier that Hillary Clinton campaign paid for, that threw this country in a years-long constitutional crisis. Then you look at impeachment 1, impeachment 2, the raid on his private residence. I mean, this is a years-long political persecution. They sabotaged his administration. They framed a 3-star general, and they sought to undermine a sitting U.S. president. And now they've brought this indictment on this unbelievably weak as ever case. So I think that this just, I would be running campaign ads using impeachment 1, impeachment 2, the Mar-a-Lago raid, and now this ridiculous arrest and indictment, or I should say indictment now. And I would use that because they're targeting him because he's putting the American people first. And it's so obvious to everyone. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, you see what this is. And it's not this country. This is not America. This is what you do in third world banana republics.
Yeah, look, it's hard to disagree with you on many levels, Jason, but I agree that he does speak to those people. When you just have to see over the last couple of months since he warned about this indictment being imminent, you've seen a huge bump in donations to his campaign. But does he have some responsibility about the division that is running rampant across the United States at the moment?
No, actually, I don't believe he has any responsibility for the division. They've created a straw man. They've created a straw man that doesn't exist, and they continue to persecute him because he's putting the American people first. And I think that will have a huge impact going on in the 2024 race. I think that the biggest loser here is unfortunately Ron DeSantis, because I think you're just going to see him continue to pull away from the rest of the contenders, and DeSantis you see that he's about 30 points above DeSantis right now. I think you're just going to see it increase from here.
Okay, so you're on the Trump Advisory Board. What does that actually mean? Do you advise him on a daily basis? Do you know where he is today?
Well, I believe he's in Mar-a-Lago, but I'm not sure of where he is currently. But I am advisor to the campaign. I was the advisor on the campaign in 2016. I was the advisor to the campaign in 2020, and I continue to be advisor going into 2024. And so I help advise the president and the campaign.
Okay, so what are his next steps then, Jason? Do you think after this? We've seen this statement. Are we going to see a mugshot?
I'm not sure what we're going to see. I think any type of perp walk or handcuffs or visuals will only help him. I think that the left should not want to have any of that out there, because those are going to be used against them going into 2024. But we'll see. I mean, they've already made the mistake of indicting him. I'm sure they'll make some other mistakes along the way. But as far as I'm concerned, I think he should continue to push out policies and get to the American people about what 2024 looks like going forward, putting America first, and explaining to the American people what the establishment is doing to him and why. And that's how I would advise him.
Jason, just finally, I mean, the long and the short of it is that he did pay off Stormy Daniels, correct?
Well, actually, that's not correct. If you saw the last legal letter that we saw that came out in 2018, Michael Cohen actually paid those funds out of his own pocket. He was never reimbursed. That's why this case is a joke. And by the way, these non-disclosure agreements happen all the time. This is not a crime. It's not hush money. Yeah. This is a news story that, unfortunately, Alvin Bragg has decided to put it out there. Look, they had to indict. In my opinion, they had to do something because they teased their base that they were going to have this indictment for years.
Hasn't
so
they
were between a rock and a hard place.
Hasn't he denied having sex with Stormy Daniels?
Well, Stormy Daniels actually denied it. She actually wrote a letter saying that it never happened. And so that's, again, why this is just such a ridiculous case and why it's going to backfire dramatically.
Okay, Jason, really appreciate your time on a big day.